men over 60. This morning drink could help improve insulin resistance. At 65, John felt like he was losing a battle he didn't even know he was fighting. He could still hear his doctor's words rattling around in his head. Pre-diabetic. It sounded like a life sentence. More pills, more restrictions, and a whole lot more worrying. He could see his future, and it looked like a slow, steady decline. Less energy for the grandkids, less of the man he used to be, just another statistic. But what if the key to turning the ship around wasn't at the pharmacy, but was already in his kitchen? A simple, everyday ingredient that a landmark study suggested could actually help his body use insulin better. This is the story of how a simple morning drink started to change everything for John, and how it might for you too. John's story is far from unique. For millions of men over 60, prediabetes has become a familiar phrase during their annual checkup. It's the silent gateway to type 2 diabetes, a condition that sneaks up on you over years, and it all starts with something called insulin resistance. So, what exactly is insulin resistance? Imagine your body's cells are like little workshops and each one has a locked door. To get energy, you need to let fuel, the glucose from your food, inside. The hormone insulin is the master key designed to unlock those doors. But as we age, or due to our lifestyle, the locks on those doors start getting gummed up and rusty. The insulin key still fits, but it's a struggle to get it to turn. The cells have become resistant to the key. Your pancreas, the factory that makes the insulin keys, senses the problem. It thinks the doors aren't opening, and starts working overtime, pumping out more and more keys, hoping to force the locks open through sheer numbers. For a while, this brute force approach actually works, but eventually, like any overworked factory, your pancreas gets exhausted. It can't keep up the frantic pace. That's when the fuel deliveries start backing up. Glucose gets stuck outside the workshops, piling up in the bloodstream with nowhere to go. That's when you start feeling it. The fatigue, the mysterious weight gain, and that nagging feeling that you're just not firing on all cylinders anymore. That's insulin resistance, a storm quietly gathering on the horizon. What's your biggest challenge with insulin resistance? Comment your age and location. I reply to every comment within 24 hours. The risk for this shoots up after age 60. You're often told the only fix is a restrictive diet and a cabinet full of medications, but that's not the whole story. Science is starting to show that small, consistent habits can make a huge difference. This brings us back to John's kitchen and his discovery, apple cider vinegar, or ACV. For ages, vinegar has been a folk remedy, but now, modern science is finally catching up and figuring out why it might be so powerful for our metabolic health. The magic is in its main active compound, acetic acid. A landmark 2004 study in the journal Diabetes Care from Arizona State University looked at people with insulin resistance and found something incredible. When they had vinegar before a high-carb meal, their insulin sensitivity shot up. Another key finding from that same study showed that vinegar improved whole-body insulin sensitivity by an impressive 34% in subjects who were insulin resistant. Let that sink in for a moment. A simple, cheap liquid from the grocery store showed it could help the body's cells listen to insulin again. And the research keeps coming. A 2021 meta-analysis confirmed that ACV consumption can significantly lower fasting blood glucose and HbA1c levels, which is the gold standard for measuring long-term blood sugar control. And a more recent 2024 meta-analysis of 7 different trials backed this up, finding that ACV significantly reduced both fasting, blood sugar, and HbA1c in patients with type 2 diabetes. So, how does it pull this off? Scientists think it's a 1-2 punch. First, acetic acid acts like a traffic cop at the exit of your stomach. It slows down how quickly your food is released, which means the carbs are introduced into your bloodstream more gradually. It prevents a sudden traffic jam of sugar. Second, acetic acid acts like a locksmith for your cells. It helps to clean out those rusty locks, making it much easier for the insulin key to turn. This allows your muscles to pull glucose out of the bloodstream more efficiently, getting it into the cells where it's needed for energy. It makes insulin's job a whole lot easier. But let's be crystal clear. Apple cider vinegar is not a magic cure. The studies show a modest yet significant improvement. It should never be seen as a replacement for a healthy lifestyle, diet, exercise, or any medications your doctor has prescribed. Think of it as a powerful tool to add to your toolbox. Getting this into your daily routine couldn't be simpler. No fancy gadgets or pricey ingredients needed. Here's the basic morning drink protocol used in many of these studies. The recipe: 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar. Look for a bottle that says it contains "with the mother." That cloudy-looking stuff is a mix of beneficial bacteria and enzymes from the fermentation process. 8 to 12 ounces of water. Cool or lukewarm is perfect. Just don't use hot water, as it can neutralize some of the good stuff. The method: just stir the ACV into the glass of water. That's it. The most common advice is to drink this once a day, right before your first meal, especially if you know that meal will be higher in carbs like oatmeal, toast, or fruit. Why before the meal? Drinking it beforehand gives the acetic acid a head start. It prepares your system to better manage the incoming carbs and helps blunt the blood sugar spike that usually follows. Now, for a very important safety warning: never ever drink apple cider vinegar straight. It's highly acidic and can do a number on your tooth enamel and the sensitive lining of your esophagus. Always, always, always dilute it in water. Some experts even suggest drinking it with a straw to keep it off your teeth, and then rinsing your mouth with plain water when you're done. Start slow. Try just 1 teaspoon in a glass of water and see how your body handles it. You can gradually increase to 1 or 2 tablespoons over time. Just because apple cider vinegar is natural, that doesn't mean it's safe for everyone. This is potent stuff, and there are some crucial things every man over 60 needs to know. First, and this is non-negotiable, if you are on any medication for diabetes, especially insulin or drugs that lower blood sugar like sulfonylureas, you must talk to your doctor before starting this routine. Think of it like a seesaw. Your medication is already pushing your blood sugar down on one side. Since ACV can also lower blood sugar, it's like adding more weight to that same side. The combination could cause your levels to drop too low, a dangerous condition known as hypoglycemia. Your doctor might need to adjust your dosage. Don't guess with this stuff. Second, if you have chronic kidney disease, you need to be very careful. Damaged kidneys can struggle to process the extra acid, so this is generally not recommended. Third, listen to your gut. ACV slows down stomach emptying, which is great for blood sugar, but if you have a condition called gastroparesis, delayed stomach emptying, it could make things worse. For some, it might cause a bit of nausea or heartburn, especially at first. If that happens, back off the dose or stop. Your body knows best. Finally, we talked about the risk to your teeth, but it's worth repeating. The acid can weaken enamel over time. So, dilute it well, use a straw, and rinse your mouth afterward. Think of ACV less like a simple drink and more like a supplement. It has real effects on your body, and it deserves respect. A quick chat with your doctor is always the smartest move before starting anything new. Type 1 if this helped you, or 0 if you have questions. I'm reading every single comment today. So now you know the science, the how-to, and the safety rules. You've got a new tool to consider. The evidence shows that small, consistent steps can add up to big changes. Here's a challenge. If your doctor gives you the thumbs up, try this simple morning drink for 2 weeks. Just 1 tablespoon diluted in water before your first meal of the day. And I want to hear how it goes. Come back to this video and drop a comment below. Did you feel a change in your energy? Did you notice anything different? Your story might be the one that inspires someone else to take that first step. And if you found this information useful and want more rock-solid health strategies for men over 60, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We're building a community of men who aren't just getting older, we're getting better. So let me ask you, what's one healthy habit you've picked up that's made a real difference for you? Share it in the comments. We started with John, a 65-year-old guy at a crossroads, worried about a future dictated by prediabetes. But the story doesn't end with ACV being some magic potion that fixed everything overnight. Real health transformations never work that way. Instead, that simple morning drink was the first small, doable step he took to take back control. It was the catalyst. That one little habit gave him the confidence to make other changes. He started walking a bit more. He paid more attention to his food. He focused on getting better sleep. The morning drink wasn't the cure. It was one piece of a bigger plan. It was the proof he needed that he wasn't powerless. For men over 60, winning the battle for our metabolic health isn't about finding one miracle cure. It's about building a fortress of smart, sustainable habits. And adding a daily diluted dose of apple cider vinegar can be one of the first foundational stones in that fortress. An easy, evidence-based way to help your body manage blood sugar just a little bit better. You are not a statistic. Your health isn't set in stone. It is never too late to start making choices that lead to a stronger, more vital future. Go ahead and take that first step today.